we all use star ratings to rate our books, but also every one of us has a different star rating system, and I feel like we never really talk about it, although it's so interesting. So I decided to do the star ratings tag, my first ever original tag, so we can share how we are giving star ratings to books. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jane and today I'm doing the star ratings tag. I'm so excited. This is my first ever original tag, and it's actually started as an idea for a video, and I just decided to do a tag from this video because I feel like we all can talk about our star ratings. So basically I have 8 questions in this tag. I'm really excited, so let's just start. First question: based on what do you rate books? So I feel like everyone rates books differently. You can rate them based on the plot, on the characters, on the world building, on the writing. Like there is so many things that you can rate book on, but actually in the past couple of weeks I'm starting to realize that I usually give a star rating based only on my feeling, how much I enjoyed the book. I remember that in the past I made a table and gave a star rating for categories like characters, plot, world building, all of those stuff, and I do consider all of those stuff when I'm giving a star rating, but overall my star ratings are based on my feeling, how much I enjoyed the book. I feel like in my reviews in Goodreads I usually tell more about all of the other things, but the star rating is just how much I enjoyed the book. If it's a 5-star, it was amazing, I enjoyed it so much. Also if it isn't the most perfect book plot wise or character wise, and there is so many books with good writing, good characters that I didn't enjoy, so I'm just giving a low star rating in this situation. The second question is, do you give half star ratings? So I actually feel like most people give half star ratings. From what I see, so many reviews in Goodreads are half star reviews, and I personally in the past didn't give half star ratings, but I started to give this year, and it's so much easier for me because I don't feel there is only 5 levels to a book and how much I enjoy the book. And when I'm giving half star ratings, it gives me more options to categorize the books on how much I enjoy them, and I'm really glad that I started to do it, because since I started to do it I feel like I'm much more correct, because it can be much more accurate to the actual star rating that I want to give a book. The fourth question is, how long does it take you to give a book a star rating once you finish reading it? So I actually feel that when I'm finishing reading a book, I already know the star rating, because I already think about the star rating that I'm going to give the book while I'm reading it. Like I feel that already in the half of the book I'm starting to think what is going to be the overall rating of the book, and I also personally don't feel like the end of the book changed too much for my star rating, because I read so many books that were so boring, and in the last 10-20% of the book it got so intense and so amazing, and I feel like a lot of books are like this, and if I enjoyed only the end, my star rating is still going to be low. So if the end is amazing, they usually end up giving maybe half a star more than I initially planned, because the star rating is how much I enjoy the book, the whole book, not only the end. So already in the half of the book I'm starting to think which star rating I'm going to give, because the star rating needs to be based on how I felt most of the book. But there is a few books that I finish and then just don't know which star rating to give. It happens to me, but most of the time I already know, because I already think about it all the second half of the book. The fourth question is, do you ever feel bad giving a low star rating? Okay, this is really interesting, because usually I don't really feel bad giving a low star rating, especially because I'm really critical with my ratings, and I usually also prefer to give a lower star rating than a higher star rating. But there is a few books that I just feel so bad, and I usually end up giving a higher star rating than the star rating that I actually feel. I feel like it happens especially with or really popular books, or books that I expected so much and I just feel bad that I didn't enjoy them. But this is actually something that I'm trying to work on, because I do prefer to give a low star rating. Also, if I feel bad to give a low star rating, because it's my actual real thoughts about the book. I feel like I'm so picky with my 4 and 5 star ratings, but I need also to be picky with my 3 star ratings, because for me 3 stars is a nice rating, so I need not to give 3 stars to books that I didn't felt a 3-star vibes from them. So I do feel bad sometimes, and I'm trying to work on it. The fifth question is, do you sometimes change star ratings? If yes, do you usually change it to higher or lower rating? So this is actually very interesting, because I don't know if other people usually change star ratings, but I feel like I sometimes do it. It happens to me a good amount, because a lot of times my thoughts about a book change change once I have actual time to think about the book. And like I said, most of the time I already know the star rating once I already finish reading the book, and I just give star rating without sleeping on it and without thinking about it too much. And I actually thought that I changed a lot of my star ratings to be a lower star rating, but I actually checked, and a lot of the star rating that I change are actually a higher star rating, which is interesting, but I can get it because I'm so critical about 4 and 5 star ratings. Like, I don't give not 5 stars, not 4 stars. I don't give anything easily. So a lot of times I give a book a low star rating because I just not sure if this book worth a higher star rating. So it happens to me that I just realized that I was too picky and this book actually deserves a higher star rating, but also the opposite happens a lot of times. There is just books that I think that I enjoy, but honestly a few days later I already don't remember anything from the book. It wasn't special to me in any way, so I do change a lot of times book to a lower star rating. So I feel like I'm doing both. The 6th question is, what makes a book 5 stars to you? Okay, it's so interesting because I already said it, but I'm not giving 5 stars easily. Like, I had only 2 5-star books in 2021 because I'm so critical about it, but I feel that a 5-star book for me is a book that I just can't stop reading, a book that I have to finish as quick as possible, a book that makes me feel that I'm so much in the book. And the most important thing for me is a book that I don't start to think if it's 5 stars or not, because sometimes I read amazing books, but when I need to give a star rating, I'm just not sure if it's actually 5 stars or not. Like, I'm debating so much and I just don't know which star rating to give, and usually this is a sign that this isn't a 5-star for me. I feel like 5 stars for me are books that I just know 100% that they are 5 stars, and I'm not debating in any way if to give them 5 stars or not, because they are clearly 5 stars for me. This is what I think are 5-star books for me. And yes, just books that made me feel so in the story, books that I really enjoy, books that I just feel in a different world when I'm reading those books. Oh, I really want to read a 5-star book now when I'm talking about it. Like, this is the most amazing feeling ever. So yes, 5-star for me is a book that I know is 5 stars and nothing less. The 7th question is, what makes a book 1 star to you? This is also really interesting, and actually I'm not sure how many people gives 1 stars, because I heard from a lot of people that they usually don't give 1 star, but I gave so many times 1 star to a book. But overall I feel like a 1-star book is a book that I say to myself, why I didn't DNF this book. Like, this is a book that I just regret reading. I do try to DNF more books because I'm not really good in DNFing books. I always tell to myself, let's read a little bit more, and just force myself to keep reading. So I feel like 1 star are those books that I just regret not DNFing, those books that I'm clearly forcing myself to keep reading, and the books that I just don't feel anything for the characters. Now, there is a few 1 stars that I give 2 stars because I felt bad to give them 1 star, because 1 star is like a really low rating. I always feel so bad giving 1 star to books, but again, I don't need to feel bad about giving 1 star to books. 1 star are just books that I wish I didn't spend my time on. The 8th and the last question is how your star rating system works. How do you give stars? What every star means to you? I feel like this is the most interesting thing about star ratings, because a lot of people has star rating system, and I feel like I have more or less also a system. Like I said, you already know how I'm giving 5 stars. This is books that I'm sure 100% that they are feeling 5 stars for me. But if there is a book that I loved, that was amazing, that I enjoyed so much, but I'm debating if to give it a 5 stars or not, I usually give it 4.5 stars, because it's almost 5 stars, but something just stops me from giving it a 5 star. Now, 4 stars is books that I really loved, books that I really enjoyed, books that wanted to keep reading, wanted to go back to the story, books that I really had a really good time with, but they are not all-time favorites like 5 stars. There are books that I really love and books that I will definitely recommend, and books that just made me really enjoy, but just not all-time favorites. Now, 3 stars are books that were nice, but they were pretty average, like books that were nice to spend my time with, books that were interesting, they made me want to continue reading the story, but they weren't as enjoyable as 4 stars. Like, I enjoyed them, but would I recommend? Probably not. Like, just an average book that I don't feel anything special to this book. And 3.5 stars are also those average books, but those average books that I felt a little bit more, not as much as a 4 star, not a book that I loved and enjoyed so much, but also not a book that was really average to me. I feel like I give 3.5 stars to a lot of books that felt to me me like 3 stars, but the book itself was made really well, and I do think it deserves higher rating. And also a lot of times I'm giving 3.5 stars to books that I think I would enjoy much more if I read in a different time, because I'm a mood reader, so my mood really affects how much I enjoy the book. But just books that I think would maybe be 4 stars if I read them in the right time. Now 2.5 stars are books that were average, but a little bit less than average. Not as bad as a 2-star rating. Books that I did enjoy in some way, but not really. Like 2.5 stars feels to me like those books that something makes me want to continue reading them, but overall they were less than average to me, and I was pretty disappointed from them. Now 2 stars is the books that I was clearly disappointed from. Books that I didn't really enjoy and didn't really want to keep reading. Not as bad as a 1 star. Like those books aren't books that I felt like I'm really forcing myself to read, but also books that I didn't really enjoy, and books that I felt like things in the characters and in the plot really bothered me. But those books aren't books that I regret reading, like 1 stars. They are okay. I'm okay with reading them, but I didn't really enjoy, and I will probably won't really want to check more stuff from those authors if I'm giving this star rating to a book. And 1 star, you already know, it's a book that I really regret reading. Now 1.5 stars. I'm not sure if I ever gave 1.5 stars, so I don't really have an answer to this, but I guess it will be a book that I don't really regret reading, but it's really close to regret reading it. So yes, this is my star rating system. I feel like in the past few months I understand so much more why I'm giving star ratings, why I'm giving this star rating to a book. I just know so much more what I'm looking in books, which is amazing, because knowing your reading taste can benefit you so much. But yes, I just really enjoy always to think about which star rating I'm going to give. I feel like it's really fun, and I know that there is people that gives 5 stars more easily and people that don't give 5 stars really easily, but I feel like overall it's a nice system to see how much other people enjoy the book. Like if I'm looking at a book and then I'm going to the reviews, I do read the reviews, but just seeing a star rating is so much easier because you already know more or less how much the person who read the book enjoyed from the book. So yes, I just love star ratings. It's so fun. I really love to compare my star ratings based on other months, and like this I also can track how much I'm enjoying the books that I read, because it's important to read books that you actually enjoy from. So yes, this is my first ever original tag. I'm so excited for it. I really hope that you enjoyed those questions. I really want to see videos about the star ratings tag. Just so interesting to see other people's star rating systems. It's so interesting because it really differs from person to person. So it's really cool to see how everyone gives star rating for books and why they give this star rating to a book. Please comment, send any link of any video that you are doing or every blog post, just everything about this tag. I really want to see people doing this tag too. And yes, I'm so excited. I'm uploading 2 times a week on Sundays and Wednesdays, but until the next video you can check more videos by me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone!